Hey, Crafters, Big D here, and this week we built a table.
So, unlike my other projects, this one is not in miniature. It's a 1-to-1 scale table. We've been working on a dining room table and playing on a dining room table, or on the card table you see behind me, for a while, and I finally decided that if we're going to do battle reports and whatnot, that we needed to do a proper table. With my wife's help, we built our wonderful workbench, and the design for this table is basically the same design, just kind of pared down for a 6-foot by 4-foot gaming table that's got split underneath and got a shelf for part of it underneath for storing game boards and terrain.
He says help, but it's really more I nagged him.
She helped me put things together. I tried to give her credit.
Same with this table. There was a lot of nagging involved.
This is my life. Alright, so since I can't print this on my printer, I actually have to assemble this thing. So what we have here is our basic materials. This is built on the cheap, that we're going to make it look nice with some paint afterwards. But for a gaming table, we want to be able to deconstruct and take apart, say, should we move, and not have to hack it to bit with a saw. We're using screws, not nails and glue. And we are, it's actually really cheap. We bought 4 8-foot long 2x4s. That'll be mainly cut into just under 4-foot lengths for supports. And then I bought 7 6-foot lengths of 2x4s. Now, if you want to go and buy the same amount of footage in a bunch of 12-footers, you could. I was just trying to take my life easy, and I only have a van, so moving anything longer than 8 feet is a pain in the rear. I also bought 2 sheets of pre-sanded plywood. They come in 4-foot by 8-foot sheets. I had them cut so they're 4-foot by 6-foot. I'm going to be using the cutoffs to make a shelf, and that's it. The plywood I'm using, I wanted something a little sturdier than the very thin plywood I used on my workbench. So this stuff is actually 3/8 inch thick. So it's a little thicker than the stuff I use. I think I used 1/4 inch on the workbench.
We will be posting the supplies in the description below for those of you who are curious later.
Now, in between this and the assembly portion, I'm also going to put up a quick diagram of how this is put together with some measurements on it. So if you want to build your own, again, this is a pretty inexpensive piece. All told, the lumber was less than 50 bucks. Uninterrupted and undistracted, this is a single day's job, maybe 4 to 6 hours worth of work, minus the drying time of the paint after it's all completed. So it's not a long or hard project. All right, so we're going to take this out. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and construct the frame. So I have to cut some boards. That's what the 8-foot lengths are for. The first thing we're going to do is cut 3 of these into 2 4-foot lengths minus the width of 2 2x4s. Now, very important point. When you are selecting your lumber, you want the straightest and most untwisted studs you can get your hands on. So don't let Freak pick it out, or you're going to end up with some Chippendale studs. That's not what we want.
We still love you, Freak.
Love you, man. All right, I've got 4 of them cut, or 2 of them cut into 2 pieces. These will be the main support, side supports, and one of these will be a bottom support. I'll cut the other one later when we get to that second part. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to sand all of your cuts, because I'm using a rough cut chop saw. They've got a little bit of pieces all over. You don't want splinters. You don't want this to be rough on people. You don't need to really sand the whole thing. We're going to be putting a heavy coat on top of it. But if you see any real rough spots, go over it. I don't have like a hand sander, like a vibrating sander. I don't have a rotary sander.
He's got paper.
What I have paper, and I have a Dremel. So I'm going to hook up my Dremel with the largest wheel I have possible and just kind of go over the corners to get rid of most of the chips. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to lay them out and show you where we drill and assemble the framework for the first layer. Okay, so for this next part, we're assembling the frame. You can kind of see where these are laid out. We're going to attach the 2 ends and then put the middle brace in. They're going to be upright. You want to pre-drill your holes. If you don't pre-drill your holes, they will crack when you're trying to put these big screws in. We're using 3-inch screws because we want them to go deep into the wood and hang on. So 2 at every connection. Pre-drill, put them in. After I get the 2 end pieces on, we're going to come back and I'm going to show you how we measure to put the middle brace in, because the middle brace is how the shelves are installed. So we'll do some show and tell then. So I'm going to get down here and drill and try not to kill myself.
Good luck. Go.
Okay, so we're going to have a 4-foot wide shelf halfway down. And so we put in a brace that the uprights are going to go on. And basically it's 4 feet plus the width of a 2x4. So that's how we measured it. It was the easiest way to take care of it. Looking at it now, my wife and I both agree we thought the wood would be strong enough to not have a bow in it. We're going to find out when we throw the tabletop on this, as this is going to be the top of the table. But if it's got any bowing at all, we're just going to throw another brace in somewhere over here. We're going to mark this as the primary brace though, because this is the one that's going to have the upright legs attached to it. So, but that's basically it. You're going to build 2 structures like this. 2 of these. These are going to be your top and your bottom. The top one, you're just going to take this, and then you're going to drop your plywood on top, put some screws around, and boom, and you got a flat tabletop. That's your basis. Now we're going to talk about the bottom of the table. So for the bottom of the table, we want 6 legs, 1 in each corner, and then 1 in each of these brace portions. Now as you can see by the pegs I've got in place that we did for measuring, how the legs are going to sit on both the far end and the 2 far ends, I should say. They're going to be upright like that. Now, in the middle portion, the 2x4s are going to be 90 degrees different, and but still in this corner. I take it back, in this corner. So in the outside corner.
He'll figure it out, folks. Don't worry.
You'll see when it's upright what I'm doing here.
So, that's what we got so far. Stay tuned. There's more to come.
Or are we going to actually...
I figured this would be amazing. Alright.
My wife is going to lumber here. With her bad back.
Whatever. Can't be that bad. Ugh.
She's a lumberjill.
I mean, what's the worst that's gonna happen?
You could die.
Nah, I don't think this will kill me.
She says that just before she tries to kill herself.
Oh, that was my toe. There, it's on. My toe hurts now.
Yeah, good job.
Shut up. Great job, Mom. Special.
Alright.
Alright, it's on.
We're just gonna put some screws in.
Yep. So
Start in the corners and
work our way around.
Split it in half, split it in half, split it in half.
Yep. So we'll be back because I really don't want to show that bloodshed.
Alright.
Go ahead.
Now some people would paint with a brush, but we are miniature people, so we use the miniature standby spray paint. So you ever talk putting a nice finish on it, no, spray paint. I just want to have it nice with a little bit of a semi-gloss or a satin fixture on it so that it's easy to clean and easy to see where things are on it.
So today we are using Rust-Oleum's Painter Touch 2X Ultra Cover Paint and Primer. The color we have chosen is Satin Floss.
Alright. Satin Floss. It's been shaken. Take the cap off. Paint. Even stroke. No. No, we're doing this for real. This isn't like painting miniatures. We're graffiti artists here.
Oh,
We're trying to put a nice, even coat on the whole thing. Yes, it'd probably be easier if it wasn't windy and we were using a brush, but you know what?
and that's it. Mostly finished.
Okay, so in the haste to get working on this project, the lovely Lady Dragon didn't get the recorder going. I'm talking about this next piece. We've got the two frames built, and now we're building the shelf. It's basically a 4 foot by 4 foot square that goes in the middle. We're going to put a panel on top of it. And it's going to be a shelf 18 inches up in one half the table for putting all kinds of terrain on. So this is what we're working on. It's, like I said, just a basic 4 foot square. We're going to put a slab of the 2 foot by 4 foot cutoffs from the big boards on it to make a shelf. Waste not, want not. We're doing this as easy as possible. So the lengths are 4 feet for the two sides, and then 45 inches for the other two sides. So it's looking pretty good. The other board is out and painted. Lady Dragon will be putting the logo on it later. And now I'm about to cut the bottom panel so that'll fit in the slots. And then after all the paint's dried, we're going to get ready for assembly. So we'll probably be back to you this afternoon. So here's our tabletop. We went from, it's going to be a nice kind of beige bone color to, you guys should put a logo or something in the middle, to my wife deciding to tag it. I like it. It looks cool. Then she's like, the sides look too plain. Do you mind if I use this red? Because I like red. I know you like red, sweetie. It's your favorite color. That's why red is part of my logo. So, we went a little ham. Just supposed to be a simple gaming table. Yeah. I like it though. Other table is the bottom floor. Pieces are cut and that board is on now. And we are assembling the shelf. And we're going to bring it out here and paint it. And then we're going to put the whole frickin' thing together. It's a table, folks.
Alright folks, so here you can see the top of the table is almost complete. Once it is put in place, a lacquer finish will actually be placed, kind of like a gloss sealant, We've got some. We don't really use it for anything, so that's where that goes. Over here we have the base of it that's going to go down with little notches cut in for the legs and supports to go through. There's a bunny. Here's the bottom, just like the top. It was screwed in with the exact same ways. Pre-drill your hole so you don't split your wood using 3-inch deck nails is what we used to hold it in. Okay, they have to be measured at the 18-inch mark. Okay, good.
And that's where the top of the shelf will come to.
Okay. Top of the shelf goes to 18 inches, so I'll be working on that. In the meantime, here is my immediate manager. This is Oreo. She wants pets, but she doesn't like the way my hand smells.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so frames put together. Everything's ready for final assembly. So we've kind of got the legs marked out where they need to go. We've got them marked out. If you could hold up one of the beautiful ones. I got it. And I mean beautiful one, I don't mean my lovely wife. We have it marked out where the shelf is going to go. Shelf's going to be on that side of the table. Our eave for our tiles is going to go on this. You don't realize how big 4 feet really is. A 4-foot wide table is actually a lot wider than anybody gives it credit for. Goddamn. So we have enough room in the room, but goddamn, it takes up a lot of floor space. It'll work. As you can see, everything will fit within the footprint on the floor. That's the other thing. That clearly marks out. We did our best to clean the carpet. I busted the belt on my vacuum cleaner, so
Don't judge me for my housekeeping skills.
anything that is in the carpet now will be fossilized until such time as we get rid of this table. So we entomb you, dear soldiers, but too bad. All right, so we're going to put these legs on. It's just a matter of 2 screws and putting them in place, and then we're going to come back and we're going to put the baseboard shelf covering part on the underneath here. So we will be right back. Okay, uprights are in place, and the baseboard is down, and now I have the lovely Plague Child and the even lovelier Lady D doing the man work while I do the supervisor work. I'm going to stand and watch while they put the screws to my baseboard.
The man-child and what?
The lovely thing. So, as you can see, we cut the notches out and dropped it right in place. It's a solid piece, so the whole baseboard will be nice. It won't have things dropping in. We'll have a nice stable platform. It'll be awesome. All right.
No, I'm putting my weight in this so the fucker doesn't pop back up on me.
And now we're going to repeat that 16 times. Okay, so we'll be back. Pre-drilled the holes, and if you see the black line where Plague Child is, that is where the top of the shelf is going to be. So what we're going to do is we're putting the screws into the 2x4s that are the uprights, and then we're going to lift the shelf up into place, and then Plague Child is going to do a mad dash and put the screws in all the way around, all the way around, which will hold it in place, and then we'll put the rest of them in. So we'll have our lovely shelf in place, and then all we need to do is drop the top and go nuts.
Here we see Big D being the big man and putting his weight in. That's the shelf. My glorious darling
Yeah.
is
All right.
in place.
All right, stay back, Lady D. We're gonna go get the tabletop.
All right, guys. So
Drop
now
it in.
you guys are going to see the grand conclusion. Well, almost grand conclusion, but we are going to be dropping the tabletop on now. As you can see, everything has been pre-drilled and whatnot, except for the holes in the 2x4s, because they didn't think about that one, I betcha. This should be fun. So now we are doing our custom tabletop, which many of you saw already, is going to be dropped into place. Woo, woo.
Lift, 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 lift.
There's the bottom half that many of you saw my Instagram pictures of.
Okay.
And watching my babies, my darlings, lift.
Okay.
Okay, so now they're just trying to shift it into place so that the 2x4s settle into their spots underneath as they're meant to.
Alrighty folks, we got that tabletop on and currently it is upside down to me. The Plague Child is doing the final touches of making sure that the top doesn't go falling off, and apparently is dropping stuff almost as well as I do. You can kind of see what became of our workbench during this time. There's Dee. Very tired.
So again, very simple build. I mean, honestly, it took 2 days because we took our time with it and letting stuff dry. But the reality is, this is a very simple build. About $50 of lumber. Need a chop saw, a jigsaw, and a drill. We got a nice sturdy table, 6 foot by 4 feet. It's got room all the way around it, even for a big guy like me in a normal room. There's room all the way around it. We got a nice table here, 2 shelves. The bottom shelf we're going to put the flatter pieces on. And on the second shelf, we're going to be able to stick like towers and a lot of the buildings you see there, they're going to go on that second shelf. And then we'll be able to put all of our tiles to stick on there on the edge. Now normally, when we're using this table, we're just going to have the logo open just because we also are going to use this as a work table from time to time. But here's the nice thing about it. Clear the stuff off the table.
Maybe we need to do
need
this.
the drill bit. I can't get in.
You're gonna have to go get it, honey. I'm manning the camera.
Backwards.
I just rolled it the way that it was rolled. Thank you very much, sir. This is why also, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to point out, Dee doesn't fold laundry or make the bed. That would be me.
Beautiful 4x6 battle mat. Fits on here. Perfect for Warhammer. And if we want to play something a smaller thing, it's easy enough to just cordon a place off. This is going to be the home of our 9th edition battle reports and our ongoing Crusade series. So
Look forward to it.
that was the reason we wanted to go through all this. So thank you so much. Appreciate you guys sticking through this build. I know we may have not taught that much, but I'm just showing you that even with a little bit of ingenuity and a little bit of searching on the internet, anybody can build a good gaming place. I'm Big D.
I'm Lady Dragon.
We are the Gamecraft Dragons. And as always, epic your life,
Epic your game.
and epic your board. Game on.